Firstly, I would like to welcome you, sir, on our advisory board. Also,
Thank
Advocate
you.
Upadhye and State is tied up with various cyber cells and nodal government authorities and has dealt with nearly 200 plus cyber cases around the nation. They have sensitized people through various news and radio channels and made them aware of various cyber frauds, their modus operandi, and their legal rights in a cyber fraud happen. I hope this will be a wonderful session.
So first of all, a very good afternoon to everybody. I'm very obliged that you all have taken out your valuable time and you have come to attend this webinar. And I hope in the next 40 to 45 odd minutes, I'm able to take you through the various facets of cyber frauds and cyber crime. Now, before we start with this webinar, I would like to, start with some very interesting statistics. Everybody knows that the population of India is 133 crores or 1.3 billion as they call it. But are you aware that there are not more than 5,000 cyber security trained police personnel in India? That means for one cyber security professional from the police is assigned to more than 1 lakh citizens. So this is a very alarming ratio, and the only thing that can keep us safe is your awareness and sensitization about the issue of cyber frauds and cyber crime. This is the first time that we are collaborating with Legal Thirst, and I am immensely touched by the hospitality that they have shown towards me, and I am more touched that there are so many people who have come in to attend this webinar to understand what are the various facets and what are the various nuances of cyber fraud and cyber crimes. And I hope that I'm able to give you some tips that could save you from the dark clutches of the internet. So as we dig deeper into this webinar, I said that the awareness and sensitization is necessary from the side of the public. Now, why is it necessary from the side of the public? Friends, please understand that we are the custodian of our own data, and hence the awareness and sensitization should start with the public. But this awareness and this sensitization should not be only limited to the public. We should follow a threefold or a three-dimensional approach wherein the public, the judiciary, and the investigation agency, which are the police personnel here, they should be also equally be made aware and sensitized. Now, why the awareness and sensitization is necessary from the public? Because as you put a very strong lock on all your physical assets, it is very necessary that you put a very strong lock to all your digital assets as well. Now, as we dig deeper into this webinar, I would also, you would also like to ask me that what is the reason that the awareness or sensitization from the judiciary is also necessary. So friends, let me tell you that the Information Technology Act was popularly known as the cyber laws. It was enacted in the year 2000. So it's a 20-year-old act. And in this 20 years, there is a lot of advancement in the technology that has happened. Most of the transactions are happening digitally. We are using social media. We are using applications like Facebook, WhatsApp, which are not basically, established in India. So the jurisdiction of the servers when a crime happens becomes a big issue. So hence the sensitization from the side of the judiciary is of utmost importance. Now also, while investigating a lot of cyber fraud and cyber crime cases, I also got a feedback from a lot of the clients wherein when they go to the police to register a complaint, they ask them questions like, "अरे OTP तो आपने दिया था क्या? Password आपने दिया था क्या? तो इसमें fraud किस बात का हुआ?" So that is why I say that a threefold or a three-dimensional approach is very necessary, and when this approach is taken, only then we can say that India as a country can be a cyber safe and cyber secure country. Now again, as we start understanding about cyber frauds or cyber security, I would like to make a few assumptions in this webinar today. So my first assumption is that most of the people in this webinar are using a mobile phone. My second assumption is everyone has an email address for either personal or professional reasons. My third assumption is that everybody in this forum is using WhatsApp as an application. And my fourth and fifth assumption is everyone has a Facebook account, and most of the people in this forum are using Truecaller as an application. You can always give your answers in the group chat so that I understand if my assumptions are true and correct. But it would be very safe for me to assume that the answers to all these questions are a yes. Now, when we make this assumptions, you might be thinking that he's asking us very common questions. Everybody has a mobile phone, everyone has an email address, everybody is using WhatsApp, everyone is on Facebook, and most of us are using Truecaller. So you might feel that I'm asking you very irrelevant or stupid questions, if I may say. But friends, let me tell you that these questions hold a great value of importance to me, because with my experience in cyber forensics and cyber investigation, I know that there are certain softwares available wherein, without even you inserting your SIM card in the mobile phone, a phone call can be generated using your number. Even without you using your, inserting your SIM card in the telephone, in your mobile phone, an SMS can be generated from your number. Even without me knowing your password, I can generate an email using your email address. So when all these things are possible, that is why the need of awareness and sensitization comes to the forefront. And that is why I say that the first awareness and sensitization should always start from the public. As I always say, that the public is the custodian of its own data. Now, as we dig deeper, I asked you a question that how many people are using Facebook, and it is very safe for me to assume that most of us have a Facebook account. Now, friends, tell me how many of you have actually uploaded your own picture as your profile picture. You can always give me the answers in the screen so that I understand if we all are on the same page. But it is very safe to assume, yes, I can already see the answer. Yes, sir, we all do that. So let me tell you, friends, that this is actually the most riskiest thing that you have ever done. Because if you see Facebook as a platform, if someone wants to create or commit a fraud or a scam using your profile, the only thing that the fraudster needs to do is cut, copy, paste, take a screenshot and save. So God forbid, in the near future, if any sort of a fraud happens using your profile picture to commit a scam or to commit a fraud, it is going to be you who's going to be called in the respective police stations or the respective cyber cells for the purpose of investigation. And friends, let me tell you that this is a very tiresome and very cumbersome process. Let Facebook boast of the best security policies that are available, but let me tell you that for a fraudster or for a hacker, it is merely a 20 to 25 minutes job to hack into your profile. Coming to Facebook, friends, tell me how many of you have uploaded the picture of your, favorite celebrity, favorite cricketer, favorite film star, or any other person that you follow as your profile pic on Facebook? Can you please answer this question? And to my knowledge, okay, I can see yes. Ramanji says yes. Parth Chopra says yes. Okay, okay. Some are saying no. That is good. Okay, okay. So everyone who has actually done that, he has actually committed a crime as per the Information Technology Act, or more popularly known as cyber laws. You have committed the crime that talks about identity theft. Because without the permission, without the written consent, or without the explicit permission of that particular person, you are not allowed to upload any information about him or any picture displaying him as your own on your Facebook. This is something that is known as an identity theft. So everyone in this forum who has uploaded the picture of the person that they follow have actually committed this offense of identity theft. 3 years imprisonment and up to 1 year fine. I don't want to discuss this further, but I hope the kind of point that I'm trying to make here is understood. With my experience, I can tell you that 76% of the social media frauds that are happening using Facebook as a platform. And mind you, 53% of these crimes are happening against women. Friends, how many of you have actually read the terms and conditions of Facebook? If there are any lawyers who are attending this webinar, a special question to them: have they actually read the terms and conditions of Facebook? Or you as a public, have you ever read the terms and conditions of Facebook? Because if you read the terms and conditions of Facebook, you will come to know that Facebook does not take responsibility of the information that you upload on the platform. On the contrary, it makes an obligation on us to submit all the correct information about us. But on the other hand, it says that this data will be shared with their third party service providers or with their third party partners. Coming to Facebook, I recollect a very interesting case that I solved when I was giving a seminar in one of the law colleges. The topic of the seminar was cyber security and the legal framework of cyber security. After this session, a boy came up to me very frantically and he said that, "Sir, I want to talk to you and want to discuss something really important." Unfortunately, I did not have the time to, answer his query or help him out at that particular moment. But what I did is I gave him my telephone number or my mobile number, and I told him to give me a call in the morning. This particular boy tried calling me 2-3 times in the morning, but unfortunately I was in a meeting, so I was not able to respond back to him. But since he tried calling 2 to 3 times, I understood that the matter is of serious nature. So I called this boy back, and I called him in my office in the evening. After coming to my office, looking at his body language, looking at his physical appearance, I could see that there is something that is emotionally disturbing him a lot. So when I tried to probe further, that is when he started crying. He burst out and he confided in me that few days back he had received a request from an unknown girl and he accepted that request. Now, after accepting this request, the chats or the conversations between them started getting more personal and intimate. And after some days, this girl started blackmailing this boy that if you do not pay me 20,000 rupees every month, then I will upload the copy of this charts by email to the dean of your college, and I'll also send a copy to your parents. The condition was that if she does not want to do that, then the boy needs to pay her 20,000 rupees every month. The boy was extremely scared, and to make sure that he pays that 20,000 rupees, he started working in a call center and he was doing night shifts. That explained the dark circles. That explained, why he was looking so tired and why he was looking so distressed. So I understood that this matter was, very serious in nature, and hence I also understood that this particular boy needs my help. And I took up this matter on moral ground. In the first leg of investigation, we found out that this Facebook account is accessed from somewhere in the vicinity of the hostel of that particular college. So one thing was sure, that this person was somewhere in the vicinity of the college and of the hostel of the college, and this person maybe also knew my this student who was being blackmailed. Friends, to my surprise, when we started digging deeper and we did some more digital forensics on his account, that is when we came to know that this particular messages or this particular threatening was not done by any girl, but it was done by one of his friends who shared the same room in the hostel and used to share the same bench in the college. During the time of talking, he used to take out all his personal information, and using this personal information, he created a fake account, disguising himself as a girl, and he started chatting with the boy, and he started then extorting and blackmailing this boy for paying him 20,000 rupees every month. Since looking at the tender age of the boy, we did not, make it a police complaint, but let me tell you that the boy was rusticated from his college. I hope that I'm not trying to create an atmosphere of fear here, but the kind of point I'm trying to make here is that your safety or your security is first in your hands. You are all known in this virtual world by the information you upload. So it becomes very imperative that you are very sensitive to the information that you are sharing with a stranger that you meet on such platforms. Because I would never say that you should not be using technology, because if I say that, then I'm talking or I'm sounding like a backward person or an orthodox person. And the main use of technology or the main motive for which this technology was implemented goes for a toss. The technology was made to make the life of a person simpler. But friends, please also understand that every sword has two sides, or every coin has two sides. So the other side of the story is that this virtual information can also be used to commit a fraud against you, or can be used by someone else to pose as you and create a fraud disguising yourself as you. And trust me friends, as I said, it is a very cumbersome process to keep on going to the police station and explaining them that you are actually innocent. We were also handling, I was also handling one of the cases of a very reputed police officer in the state of Maharashtra. He was a very well-known public figure, and one evening he gives me a call saying that, sir, someone has created a fictitious profile on my name, and this particular profile has 5,000 followers. Now, this particular person is posting messages, is posting content which I am not aware of, and this profile has not been created by me. And the worst part is that there are a lot of my batchmates, IPS officers, IAS officers who are a part of this group. On digging deeper, we came to know that this is actually, a college-going student who's created this profile and who's operating this profile under this fictitious name. Immediately, an FIR was registered against this boy, and the boy was prosecuted, and the FIR was registered under the relevant sections. Shobha Yadav is saying, please repeat the name of the case. So unfortunately, due to the client attorney confidentiality, I would not be able to give out the details of the exact name, but I hope that the kind of point I'm trying to make here is well understood. Let us talk about WhatsApp. WhatsApp, everybody is so addicted to WhatsApp that maybe I would say if you do not get WhatsApp for the next 2 months, 25% of the public might go into depression because we are that glued or that attached to WhatsApp. It has become an integral part of your life. But since it has become such an important part of your life, how many people have actually read the privacy policy of WhatsApp? Because if you read the privacy policy, if you read the terms and conditions, WhatsApp says that we are using our servers to only transmit the information from the sender to the receiver. But friends, in a lot of investigations, we have came to know that this actually information is also stored by them on their servers. Because in a crime, when we have asked this information, they are able to divulge some of the information that was transmitted, which tells us that they are actually saving or storing this information. Friends, a very simple example I'll give you. If you go on your Google bar or your Google search bar and you just type in online t-shirts, first of all, you will get a list of all the e-commerce site or all the brands who are actually selling the t-shirts online. But even after you have, after you're done seeing all the t-shirts or various brands, even after that, if you log into any other website, you will see certain advertisements that will display the t-shirts that you have actually seen or you have actually clicked on, or you will see this advertisement of the website on which you saw this t-shirt. So friends, please try to understand that how is this happening. Friends, all these companies, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Truecaller, Gmail, all these, Google, all these platforms are taking your information for free, and they are earning millions and millions of dollars through the way of advertisement. And it is your personal information that is at stake over here. Now let us talk about a very interesting application called Truecaller. Friends, first of all, let us try to understand what is the purpose of Truecaller. So if I'm not wrong, please tell me that the purpose of Truecaller is that, it gives you information about a person that is not in your contact list. At some point of time, it gives you the name of the person. At some point of time, it gives you the service provider of that person. At some times, it also gives you the location where this person is calling from. Friends, are you even aware that the servers of Truecaller are not in India? Can anybody tell me where are the servers of Truecaller located? I'm sure no, it's not China. It is not China. Any other guesses that anyone wants to make? No, it is not USA. South Korea. No, no. I think if I give you 5-10 minutes, maybe each and every country will be. No, it's not Japan as well. I can see. I will see the list of each and every country in my chat box. No, it's not an Indian company. Yes, that's the correct answer. It is Sweden. Sweden, absolutely. So the servers of WhatsApp are located in a European country by the name of Sweden. And if my knowledge or my memory is not wrong, in the year 2014 there was a big hacking incident that happened with Truecaller, and information or database of 10 lakh Indians was compromised. And as we talk, the figure is going to increase day by day. Maybe it has reached 25 to 30 lakhs now. Friends, since we are using all these applications, how many of you have actually gone ahead and read the terms and conditions of Truecaller? Because if you read the terms and conditions of Truecaller, it says that Truecaller does not take any responsibility of the information that you have posted or uploaded or made an account using which on Truecaller. On the other hand, it also says that it will also transfer or share this information with third-party providers. Thirdly, when you download Truecaller as an application, it takes access of your SMSs, it takes access of your call list, it takes access to your photos, or it may take access to some of the important folders on your laptop or on your mobile. Do you know who's allowing them to do this? It is actually you who's allowing them to do this, because when you download all these applications, you just make a tick on a small box that appears which says that I have read the terms and conditions of that particular application, isn't it? Without even reading the terms and conditions, we just click on it, and we give all the permissions to explicitly access all the data, all our sensitive information, all our personal information to Truecaller. Again, my friends, I'm not saying that you should not be using all these applications. These applications have actually, made our life very simple. But again, we should be very privy to the kind of personal information that we are uploading on all these channels. Now, as we dig deeper into this webinar, let us try to understand that how well are we legally tuned to understand the nature of cyber frauds and cyber crime. So friends, as I told you that the Information Technology Act was enacted in the year 2000. That was 20 years back. Even the last amendment that came in the year 2008, which is again 12 years back. In the year 2007, there were merely 50 to 60 cyber fraud cases that were reported. In the year 2008, there were no applications like WhatsApp. There were not much applications like Truecaller, which were used by us. We never used to make that. There were no digital wallets like Paytm, Google Pay, or phone pay or any other XYZ application. There were no such applications like this. Most of the banking transactions were happening by either physically going to the bank or issuing a check. But nowadays, most of the transactions are happening online. आज के डेट में अगर हम किसी को पूछते यार ये पैसा अगर तुम्हारे अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर करना है, तो the first thing, no one says that okay, you go to the bank and deposit the check or give me a check. सब बोलते हैं मेरा अकाउंट नंबर ले लो, ऑनलाइन ट्रांसफर कर दो. So this is the generation, or this is what is happening in the year 2008, and this act and the act is 20 years old and the amendment is 12 years old. There were information technology rules that were enacted in the year 2011, but the implementation part is a big problem in a country like India. For example, now as per the Information Technology Rules 2011, anyone, any e-commerce platform or any service provider who's gathering your personal information. So first of all, what is personal information? So your mobile phone, your PAN card, Aadhaar card, your bank account number, your other details that your email address or other details that you upload on all your social media channels. These are all considered to be your personal information or sensitive information. So any company who's taking this personal or sensitive information and storing it, these companies are supposed to display the name of the grievance officer and the privacy policy at a very visible place on the website or the mobile application that they have made. But friends, today I challenge you to see most of the e-commerce website or most of the brands that we are using, and please tell me, in any of the brand or any of the website, do you see the name of the grievance officer or do you see the privacy policies displayed at a very visible place? In most of the scenarios, you'll see the privacy policies in a very small font at the bottom side somewhere of the website, isn't it? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I would like you to do this exercise. Even if people have not done it, please go ahead and check all the famous e-commerce brands and tell me if you see the name of the grievance officer that is displayed on the very top of the website or at a very visible place on the website. Most 99% you'll see that it is displayed in a very small font somewhere in the bottom side of the website or the mobile application. So hence I say that there are a lot of laws, there are a lot of enactments, there are a lot of provisions that the government of India has actually enacted. But unfortunately, the implementation part and the punishment part in case they are violating these terms and conditions is somewhere not taken that seriously in this country. And this is why I say that it is a very sorry state of affairs when it comes to the cyber security and cyber fraud domain in our country. Friends, as we talk about the legal side from which, how legally our system is tuned, I would like to tell you about some of, the sections that are, very prevalent in terms of the punishments for the various kind of cyber frauds. So before we start with the punishments, let us first of all try to understand what are the kind of cyber frauds that are very rampant in a country like India. So the most and common fraud are the bank frauds or economic frauds as they call it. So what happens in economic fraud? Mostly, in an unauthorized manner, the money is being siphoned off from your bank accounts, from your credit cards, from your debit cards, and the fraudster inserts some kind of a malicious software using which it records all your information, and in an unauthorized manner without your permission or consent your account is siphoned off and the money is debited from your account. Then there are e-commerce frauds. So in order to explain what are e-commerce frauds, I would like to give you a short example which will help you to understand these frauds better. So this actually happened to me when I was, going out with my friends for dinner in the evening. So one of my friends was continuously chatting on this platform by the name of OLX. So we did not know that he's what he's doing. So all our friends started teasing him that maybe he's talking to a girl, and that's the reason instead of, he has come out with us, but his entire attention is on the mobile phone. So I spoke to him that why you're not talking to us and why you're more interested in the mobile phone. So that is when he told us that he's actually selling his car online on this particular platform. And some person has, sent him a message saying that he liked the photographs that he has posted of the car, and he has liked it so much that he's ready to purchase the car even without seeing the car, and he would like to give him some money as advance. Fortunately, I had some knowledge of cyber frauds and investigation, and somewhere as the cyber fraudsters are trying to understand the psychology of the victim, we are also trying to turn the tables here, and for a moment let us try to understand what is the psychology of the cyber fraudsters when they are committing the fraud. If you see the modus operandi in most of the cases, you will see that these cyber fraudsters are exploiting the basic human emotion of greed. Everyone, this element of greed is present in every one of us, and that is what the fraudsters are trying to capitalize or that is what they are trying to. For example, they will give you offers that are too good to be true. They will say that you have won money somewhere. They will say that, okay, your credit card is due for an upgrade. Please give us our KYC. Okay, you will get these much points in your credit card account. Share us your details. So they will give you all the kind of baits or all possible baits to lure you and then commit a fraud using or exploiting the basic human emotions of greed. Anyways, coming back to the point, what happened is I understood that this offer is too good to be true, because logically, without, would you personally do that? Any one of you would personally do that without even seeing a thing? Would you personally go ahead and buy the thing without even seeing that? The answer is no. But there are some people who are that, who want to capitalize on immediate gains, and they share all the details that are available with them, and then a fraud is committed. So in this case, I said that, okay, what is this particular person saying? So my friend told me that, okay, he's saying that, I will share a link with you. You click on that link and the money will be credited into your account. Having handled so many cases on e-commerce fraud, I was 100% sure that this is a cyber fraud that is going to take place. So I told this friend that you do one thing, you tell this person to give you a call. Now look at the guts of this person. This person also had a mobile number registered under like he had a mobile number with him, a proper mobile number, not any internet call that he made. He gave me a call from a proper mobile number and I picked up the call. He told me he gave all his jazz, saying that, okay, I loved your car and it's very beautiful. I want to buy this. I like the number of the car also. It's very lucky for me astrologically. That is the reason I want to book this car, so that no one else takes this car. So what I'll do is I'll send you a link. You click on the link and you will receive the money. I said, why do you want to make this transaction so complicated? I will give you my bank account number and please transfer the money into my bank account. Immediately when I said this particular person hang up the call, and when we tried to call him back, his phone was not reachable and the phone became switched off after some time. Friends, these are the kind of e-commerce frauds that are happening. People are posting things that are not even in existence. People are posting their own things, and people are trying to buy it by luring you to give you an advance. All these things are happening on e-commerce, and all these things come into the foray of e-commerce frauds. Then the different other kind of frauds are job frauds. So in this case, what happens is, like, this happened with one of my clients. So he posted his resume on a website by the name of shine.com. And on shine.com, he received a message from one of the companies. It was a fraudster who was actually posing himself as a guy or the executive from the company. And he messaged him saying that your profile has been selected and you would be offered a job in the country of Australia. My client was very excited that he was getting, and he was a very, a high profile executive. Like, he was on a director level in that particular company, and he had a very high package and he had a very good experience. So and he had also worked overseas. So for him, getting a job abroad was something that he felt could be easy, looking at his profile. And hence, when this fraudulent company or this fraudulent executive contacted him, he told him that your profile has been shortlisted, and under the guise of making payments for customs, immigrations, medicals, work permits, he transferred 2 crore 78 lakhs into different accounts. And this is where I say, friends, that your due diligence plays a very important role. Now, when this client was siphoned off of 2 crore 78 lakh rupees, that is when he actually called up the immigration department to check if a job like this was really offered to him. But I say that if you wouldn't have been greedy, and if you would have used your due diligence and little logic and intelligence, you should have called up the agency before even transferring a single rupee into their account. So hence, your due diligence and your intelligence or your awareness plays a very important role in this. So such kind of frauds come into the foray of job frauds. Then I would like to talk about cyber stalking. So what happens in cyber stalking is someone, continuously stalks or follows your profile, gathers this information, and he might use it in the future to harass you or to bully you. And this is called as cyber bullying as well. The other kind of frauds that are very rampant right now are phishing attacks. Phishing is not the phishing that we traditionally do. It is phishing. So what happens in this phishing attack is that an email ID which looks very similar to the email ID of a government organization or normal organization or of any company, an email ID looking very similar to such organizations or such companies are created. An email is sent and taking advantage of the human error. Like for example, if you see the latest news, there was a big news which said that there are going to be cyber attacks committed by the Chinese on Indians. And this cyber attacks will come with a message line of free COVID testing. And if you click on the link or if you download any, attachments that are there in the email, a phishing attack might happen wherein a malicious software will be downloaded and it will record all your transactions or all your information or all the processes that you do on your mobile phone. So to give you an example, if you see, most of the government sites have the domain name as .gov.in. So when an email ID is created, like let's take an example that the government has a valid email address by the name of testing center at COVID 19.gov.in. So what these fraudsters will do is they will add an additional S to the word center. So what happens is that a human mind is actually not tuned to look at the exact minute details, because you just see testing center, yeah, the email at gov.in, it's okay, we immediately click on that link. But that is where they take advantage of, and that is where phishing attacks happen, wherein an email ID which is looking very similar to any government organization or any company is created and an email is sent to you. And trust me, if you have been receiving emails from that particular email ID, you don't even bother to recheck that particular ID once again, and without even seeing it, you immediately just click on it. Isn't that the case? So anyways, this comes into the foray of phishing attack. So then there are other kind of attacks which are called salami attacks. Not the chicken salami that we have, but the reason that it is called a salami attack is because what happens in salami is that we eat salami in a sandwich by cutting it into very small portions, and hence this name salami is been given to these kind of attacks. What happens in this salami attacks? So a very minuscule amount like 10 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees is debited from your account every month. A malicious software is included into the banking software, and every month this particular amount is being debited from your account. Now for you this may not be a very big account and you might not even check, because hardly who checks to these days for 5-10 rupees amount. But this particular fraud, this fraudster inserts this malicious software and siphons off money from lakhs and lakhs of account. So minuscule amount is transferred from lakhs and lakhs of account, and at the end of this fraud, it is the fraudster who makes millions and millions of money. So this comes into the foray of salami attack. So as we are already into 40-45 minutes, we are done into this webinar. I will also like to tell you that what are the various kind of acts, or what are the various punishments, what are the sections for the punishment of various types of cyber frauds. So let us start with section 65 of the Information Technology Act, which talks about altering the computer source code. Now, if you read the particular verbiage that is used to describe the section, it is in a very technical manner. So I'd like to explain it to you in a very simple form by giving you an example. Now, one of my clients was the owner of a very big information technology IT company in India. Most of the clients were from United States of America, and 80% of his company's revenue was coming from there. So one afternoon, this person calls me and he says that, sir, I'm in a very big problem. because after every 2 days when someone is trying to log in into my website, company website is getting redirected to a pornographic website. Now, since all his clients, like 80% of his business was in USA, his brand reputation or his brand value was going for a toss, because when all his clients were trying to log in into his website, they were getting redirected to a pornographic site, which was affecting his business a lot. So after doing some cyber forensics in the account, we understood that the server was accessed by one of his ex-employees who was terminated from the company. And since the company did not have that proper privacy settings or privacy respecting a particular person, kindly put in the details of that particular person, his name, his address, his phone number, whatever possible details that you have, and also take a received copy, a signed and sealed received copy from the police station. Also attach the bank statements, also attach the emails, also attach if there are any messages that were sent to you, so that even trying to find out the source of that message, maybe the fraud could get resolved and the police would be able to go ahead and resolve the fraud and catch the not or nab the fraudster, as they may say. Also, I would like to give you certain tips that would help you to remain safe from the cyber frauds that would be happening in the future. So my first tip is that you should create a separate account for making any banking transactions, because today most of the transactions are happening through the online medium. No one says give me a check, everyone says account number do kya. So kindly make sure that you create a separate account for all the banking transactions. Please keep only limited cash in this account, nothing more than 3 to 5,000, because tomorrow, God forbid, if a fraud happens with you, lot of money would not be in stake. I will tell you, or I will make one more assumption in this webinar, that most of the users or most of the attendees in this webinar have actually, attached their main account to all the digital wallets that they are using. Isn't it the case? Please tell me yes or no. Friends, again, this is the most riskiest thing that you have ever done. Please keep your personal and your financial information separate. The money that has the most, the most amount of money should never be attached to any digital wallets, because God forbid if a fraud happens, the entire money would be at stake. Secondly, use a separate mobile number for making any transactions that you are doing online, because these mobile numbers are attached to various e-wallets, to your bank accounts wherein you get the OTPs and all. So make sure that your personal number is different from the number that you use to make banking transactions. Thirdly, as we all know that we are जमाना स्मार्टफोन्स का है, स्मार्ट बनने का है, but ये जमाने में we should also understand that most of the people who are using a smartphone, when they log in using their email address, most of the applications are synchronized. Isn't that the case? So this comes to my point that I request you to create or use a separate email address when you are making these online transactions, or if this email address is attached to any of the payment wallets or digital wallets, please ensure that you use a separate email address which would be different from your personal account. Fourthly, a very interesting thing that I would like to tell you is that when we fill in the security questions, we tend to give out the correct information. Like, for example, what is your mother's maiden name? We all write the true maiden name of our mother. Or what is your pet's name? We write the true name of our pet. Isn't that the case? Again, this is very risky, because if someone visits your profile and if you have tagged your mother or if you have tagged your pet, it is very easier for them to get information on your account. Isn't that the case? All they have to go is just check your timeline. They will see that, okay, maybe you have wished your mother happy birthday, or maybe you have tagged your mother on a Mother's Day, maybe you have tagged your pet on on your social media handle. So all they need to do is just go ahead and browse your timeline, and they'll come to know what is the answer to your security question. Isn't it the case? So whenever you are answering these security questions, don't give out the correct answers. Don't give out the true answers. Give answers which not be relevant to that particular question. But also don't keep very difficult answers, because you might only forget these answers at one point of time. So make sure that you give irrelevant answers to these questions. So just to give you a synopsis of tips to make you safe, is that first of all you use a separate bank account for making all the banking and digital transactions using e-wallets and everything. Secondly, you ensure that you use a separate mobile number, and you ensure that you keep a separate email address, and you also ensure that you do not give in the true answers to all the security questions that are being asked. Because friends, like before we come to the end of this session, I would like to discuss a very interesting case study, a last case study that I would like to share with you, and you will all tell me that this is a very interesting case study. So this happened in the state of Goa. One lady, this is of course 3 to 4 years back, wherein the scenario was such that any domestic violence complaint that has been made by a woman against her husband or her relatives against her husband, immediate arrest was taken place for that particular husband and the relatives. So this case happened 3 to 4 years back, when that was the scenario. Fortunately, now there is a GR passed by the Supreme Court that if there is any domestic violence issue reported by any woman, no arrest can be done without the investigation being carried out on that particular matter. But unfortunately, this happened when this GR was not in existence. Sorry. So what happened is that this particular lady came to the Goa police station and made a complaint that her sister is missing, and she placed the doubt on her brother-in-law. That means the sister's husband. As per the prevalent laws, the police had no other option but to go ahead and arrest the particular husband. And finally, he was arrested. Then he applied for a bail and he got the bail. As per the essential conditions of the bail, it was necessary that this particular person visits the police station on a particular date and time of that particular week or every week. The police officer who was handling this particular case was one of my students, because I had taken a seminar on digital evidence in that particular police academy, and he was a part of that seminar, so he was my student. So he called me up and he said that, sir, I've been in the police for so many years, and I have a good understanding about the psychology of a criminal. And I can understand, by looking at a person, by looking at his body language, that somewhere that I feel that this particular person is innocent. And sir, I need your help, because somewhere this person, used to come on that specified date and time and used to make the signature. So he formed a very, emotional connect with that particular police officer. And this police officer called me up and said that, sir, I need your help in solving this issue. So I said that, first of all, you have put me into a very difficult spot. But, since this thing is very important and innocent should not get victimized, that is why I will tell you certain tips that might help you in the investigation to uncover the truth. So I asked this police officer to ask this complainant, or the lady who had made this complaint, to ask some of my favorite questions. So I told the police officer to ask her that if she is using a mobile phone, if she has a Facebook account, if she is on WhatsApp, or if she has an email address. So this police officer went back to the lady who had made this complaint, and in a week's time, he came back with all the answers. My first question was, does she have a mobile phone? So the police officer told me that the lady has told him that she had a mobile phone, but now the phone is coming as switched off, and we are not able to, we are trying to call, but every time we call, the number comes as switched off. I said, okay, that option is taken out of the bag. Secondly, is she having a Facebook account, or if she is using any social media applications? She said that she never had a Facebook account and she had a WhatsApp account, but again that account is not active because we are sending messages every day, but these messages are not getting delivered. So the second and third possibility was also wiped out. Now, luckily, the answer to my fourth question, that if she has an email address, the answer to this question came to be a yes. Immediately, I instructed this police officer to send an email from his official ID to this particular email service provider and get the details of the IP address so that where we can understand where this person has logged in and logged out from. Because the IP address gives us the details from where this particular account was logged in or logged out from. So immediately a message or an email was sent to the email service provider, and they came back with the location from where this email ID was accessed in the last 7 days. Immediately a police team was sent to that particular place. The location came out to be from Udupi. It's a city in, if I'm not wrong, it's in Karnataka. It's a small city in Karnataka. If you would have seen all the Udupi restaurants, this is where the name originates it from. So this particular police team was sent to Udupi. This lady who was alleged to be missing was taken into custody and brought to Goa for the purpose of investigation. In this investigation, she said that we had purposely done this in connivance or in abetment with her elder sister, and this particular crime was committed to harass her husband, against which a divorce proceeding was supposed to be filed. I hope the kind of point that I'm trying to make here is understood. Friends, all this information we upload, all this information that we put on all the channels is recorded somewhere, is stored somewhere, and it might be used sometimes for the betterment, like in this case, and most of the times it is used to commit a fraud against us. It is a much viable option that we don't see advertisements, but it is much better option than being conned or being defrauded and being siphoned off of all our hard-earned money. So by saying this, I would like to go ahead and end this webinar. But just 1 or 2 minutes before I end this webinar, I would like to make a very humble request to all the ladies who are a part of this webinar. My humble request to all the ladies is that if they are getting harassed online, please, please, please report this to the police station or the cyber cell. काइंडली डू नॉट से कि ये तो बहुत ही छोटा इश्यू है, वो क्या कर लेगा, ये तो ऑनलाइन हो रहा है ना, इससे क्या होता है. काइंडली डू नॉट टेक दिस थिंग लाइटली, because you might be in for a bigger crime that might be committed against you. So they, as they always say, that a stitch in time saves nine. This is the same policy that you need to, or the same approach that you need to apply over here, and ensure that even the smallest of incident, if someone is harassing you, sending you vulgar messages, sending you vulgar photographs, videos, kindly make sure that this complaint is registered. Because if you keep quiet today, you might be in for a bigger fraud that might happen with you. And we are all aware that what sort of frauds are happening, or what type of offenses are happening against women. They morph the photographs, they post it on pornographic sites, and then it is very difficult to go ahead and mitigate all these things that are happening. So right at the first instance, if you put a very strong complaint, I can assure you that your chances of getting defrauded in the future, or getting scammed, or getting bullied, or getting defamed would drastically decrease. So once again, girls, ladies, in this webinar, please make sure that even the smallest complaint is reported to the local police station or the local cyber cell. And one request to everyone who's attending this webinar is, whatever information today that I shared with you, if you find this information valuable, please share with all your friends that you know, so that even you act your part of a responsible citizen in making sure that India as a country inches closer to become cyber safe and cyber secure. So by saying that, I would like to go ahead and end this webinar. But before I end this webinar, I would also like to answer some of the questions if you have any. So let me just see my group chat and let
Yes,
me see
sir.
if I have.
One of the girls, Sukriti Kapoor, has posted his question on the chat box. I received a call on Wednesday around 9 p.m. and the person on the other side told me that he has received a video call from my WhatsApp. I refused that I haven't done that and cut the call. After some time, I got another call and the other person said I received the video call. On Wednesday itself, I received around 4 or 5 calls and received a message on WhatsApp from one of the numbers. On Friday, I received 4 to 5 6 calls and I didn't pick and reported and blocked all the numbers. And she searched that on Truecaller and showing that it's from Jammu and Kashmir. And she also
Okay.
reported to the WhatsApp security team and she's
Mhm.
asking for the measures.
She's asking for the
Measures. She should
measures.
take the
Okay.
measures.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to tell you that whatever information that you are seeing on Truecaller as an application is the information that that particular person has uploaded. So it can be just taken as a guideline or a background, but this information is not 100% true. One thing good that you have done is that you have reported this number to the WhatsApp's cybersecurity team. But another thing that you also need to do is what I mentioned is you have to go ahead and make a complaint with the local cyber cell that is available in your jurisdiction, or make a complaint with the local police station saying that such numbers that you are receiving calls from these particular numbers. Now, one point that I actually it skipped from my mind from getting in front of all you people, and I'm thanking you for asking me this question, is that even if you are unable to go to the local police station or the cyber cell, there is an online portal that has been started by the government by the name of cybercrimes.gov.in. You, without even visiting the police station or the local cyber cell or the local commissioner office in that particular area, you just need to log in on that particular site, put in your details, your name, email address, the complete facts and circumstances of the case, and you just need to submit this complaint online, and this complaint will be automatically transferred to the local cyber cell jurisdiction or to the local police station. But a very important part in this is, first of all, you have to make this complaint. So don't rely on the WhatsApp security team, because the main stakeholders of the security team are not in India, they are in USA. So they have very limited access or very limited understanding or what of what is happening over here.
Yeah,
So
she
the best.
said that she's already filed an online complaint then.
Okay, that is good. So from your end, you have taken this measure, and I think that has been that is okay. And now it is the prerogative of the police to take a serious action. I would just like to ask you that still these calls are continuing, or they have stopped. Are you still getting these calls, or you're not getting these calls? Still they are coming. So again, you have to go ahead and file a complaint with that particular jurisdiction saying that these calls are happening again and again and there is no stoppage to this. And if in 15-20 days if they are not able to take any action, immediately rush to the local commissioner of that particular zone, or the DCB of that particular zone, or the ACP of that zone, saying that I have made this particular complaint and still no action has been taken. And you also make a complaint against WhatsApp, that then it is WhatsApp also who's not taking this particular measure very strictly, and still the calls are coming to your particular phone. I would like to take the next question. What should a person do, sir, if an unknown fake account mentally harasses you and talks about your personal past and makes you emotionally unstable? So, Shireen, as I said, the first and foremost thing you have to do is you have to make a report of this complaint. You have to report this complaint to the Facebook's investigation or the fraud intelligence team, you have to make a complaint to the local cyber cell, you have to make a complaint with the local police station, and give all the details in terms of the screenshot of the profile. When you actually go ahead, you log into this, you show this profile to this particular police officer and tell them that these all activities are happening and this is how he's trying to go ahead and threaten you, or trouble you, or he's talking to you about your personal past that is making you emotionally unstable. And Shireen, one thing I'll tell you, that if he knows something about your personal past, which is very private to you or or to someone, that means he knows, or he was a very close person to you sometime in the past, and that is the reason he has access to all this information. And if you have any suspicion on any particular person, please make sure that you add the name or the address or the contact details of this person in your complaint, so that the police can call him, they can seize his laptop or or his desktop or his mobile phone, and they could do certain kind of cyber forensics on that to check whether this is the person who's actually doing this. Because the only person that will know about your personal past is the person with whom you were very close or very intimate or very true, or uh, of who knew what is happening about in your life in day to day time, or this is a person who knows that what is happening in your day to day life every day. So he was a person that was very close to you, and that is the reason he has access to this information. So make sure that you go ahead and report about this. What about your opinion that government has announced that the Zoom app is not safe to use? What shall we do for alternative usage? See, generally, I won't be able to give you an answer that what should we do for an alternative usage, because without reading the terms and conditions, without reading the privacy policy, I would not be in the right position to give you any advice that okay, or to tell you what application is safe or what application is not. That is somewhere that you have to use your own logic and your own due diligence, because the first thing that you need to do is that what is the data privacy policy, what are the terms and conditions for sharing data, is the data being shared with third party, what are their policies regarding that, if you do not consent, will they still send this data. So all these things you need to go ahead and check in the terms and conditions and privacy policy of that particular app, and then decide if that app is safe to use or not. Now, coming to your first question, that government has issued that the Zoom app is not safe. The reason is that there are certain malwares that were found, or there were certain things that were found in Zoom app as an application, wherein a person could actually take control of some of the very important folders on your laptop or your mobile phone or your desktop. Because again, if you read the terms and condition of Zoom app, it does not take guarantee or warranty of any information that is or any conferences that happen on their particular platform, and they just stand as a facilitator in that. Now Zoom app has updated its version and cleared the security check now. But what is, see, fraudsters are always one step ahead than us. ताला कब बदला जाता है? जब पहला वाला ताला कोई तोड़ता है या कोई नया चीज, नया फ्रॉड या नया स्कैम मार्केट में आता है, तब हम जाके सिक्योरिटी मेजर्स बढ़ा देते हैं, तब हम जाके ताले चेंज करते हैं. And generally, if you see, most of the cyber fraudsters are always one step ahead than us. Can you tell us the best books for Information Technology Act? See, I would say you refer to the act, and there are various online blogs available on every particular section of that particular act. So read out all these informations. I don't believe in books, reading books, because right now the information that we get on the internet is the most updated information. And that is why one of the reasons that I say that we should not be running away from technology. We should be using technology. But what we are uploading or what information that we are giving out in the internet, that should be a matter of concern, and that should be a matter that needs to be curated before we go ahead and post any information about us, or post any of our private information. I can see one more question: are WhatsApp chats considered to be evidence in the court? Yes, they are definitely considered to be evidence in the court. But friends, if I am the defense counsel who's fighting against you, I would not accept the WhatsApp evidence as evidence in the court, because I will prove it in the court that the servers of WhatsApp are not in India. So there is no validity of the authenticity of the printout of that message that you have submitted in the court, because unless and until I get authentication or verification from the administrator of the server, how can you be so sure that the information that you are posting or that you have submitted as evidence is not modified and not fake? It is accepted, but it can be challenged. And if someone knows technology and law, the first point that he will say that this evidence is not admissible. Okay. Any other questions
Yeah,
that?
I have unmute one of the participant to
Uh,
ask a question. You can ask the question.
Sure, sure, please. Please,
Sir,
please
are you
ask.
audible?
Absolutely.
Sir, can you say about MITM attacks?
What about MITM attacks you want to know?
Yeah, just nowadays MITM attacks are going to be frequently going on in our
So, any
society.
particular, information that you want to know, or you just want to know that what are the general provisions for MITM attacks?
Yeah, general provisions. Yeah.
See, generally, what happens in this MITM attacks is that it is man in the middle kind of an attack. That is what it generally means. So, just to give you an overview of what this MITM attacks is, that this fraudster tries to personate himself as someone else, that is working for a particular organization, is working for a particular company, or is working for a particular entity. And he will see today all this information is available on the net. Now if you ask me about any famous company, most of the information in terms of the directors, most of the information in terms of the service desk, most information in terms of the people working in the company, all are available by using platforms like LinkedIn and all. So it becomes very easy for anyone to access this particular kind of information and commit a fraud using posing as that particular person. So all these attacks come into these foray, and this will come into the foray of these MITM attacks. So any other questions? Sometime back SC confirmed that WhatsApp notice is valid. Yes, WhatsApp notice is valid, but WhatsApp notice given from the court is valid, because what happens is we are not receiving any information. We are merely sending the information. So sending the true information, it has to be accepted. In fact, I would say that this is a very late thing that happened in India. If you look at all the developed countries that have very strict laws when it comes to cyber security and cyber frauds, these kind of things like sending a notice on email by the court, sending a notice by WhatsApp is all acceptable. So now, luckily, one good thing that happened in this pandemic is that the court started accepting notices in the form of WhatsApp. Even a lawyer can send a notice to the opposite party, and all he needs to do is that he needs to submit a printout with the blue tick on it. That is all that needs to be done. Sobha Yadav tells me that please explain trolling. Trolling is nothing but a form of cyber stalking and cyber bullying, in which you take all the sensitive information or personal information that has been uploaded, and you create nasty jokes, nasty photos, nasty videos, and post it or you morph that particular person's place and put it in a vulgar or in a very funny manner. You must have seen this on these MTV. Everyone must have seen this Troll Police as a serial or as a series that is coming on these all these channels. But friends, let me tell you that the private investigators that are shown in this particular serial, they are not actually authorized to access any of the personal information. It is only the police investigating officer who has the investigating authority to go ahead and access this information. So whatever has been shown in this program is absolutely against the law, and someone should go ahead and make a complaint about that. Sir, please enlighten us about the SIM card fraud. So this SIM card fraud is, a very, very rampant fraud that is happening in India. what generally happens is, what is, first of all, let us try to understand what is the modus operandi of this SIM card frauds. So what happens in a SIM card fraud is that a fraudster will particularly call you, and this particular fraudster will have access to some internal systems that the service providers are offering. They will have some kind of accesses to some of the internal softwares that they are using. So what will happen is, as I said, that all this information is available on the internet. Today, if they want to take your photo, they just need to go ahead and see your Facebook profile and they'll get the photo that they need. Today, there are softwares that are available on the dark net or even on the internet today, wherein modifying or altering the Aadhaar card or PAN card details is just a click of a button. You just have to cut, copy, paste, or just upload the new information, and your fake Aadhaar ID or your fake PAN card will be ready in not more than 5 minutes. So they take all this information and they give you a call saying that, okay, we want to upgrade your plan, and when you and you please give us a number so that we can go ahead and upgrade your plan or upgrade some of the details or give you some free gifts as you are a valuable customer. And this code that they actually ask for is the mobile what do you call it, I don't MNP, mobile number portability code is what they call it. So that is the code that actually comes on your mobile, but say that this is the authorization code that you have to give us. So once you give them the authorization code, which is actually the MNP code, your mobile connection gets disconnected, and the access of that particular new SIM card, okay, in the background they go ahead and apply for a new SIM card. The access to the new number is given to the new SIM card, and they are actually in control of all the information that you receive on that particular SIM card, which includes the OTP, which includes the password, which includes the other sensitive information that is being sent. Can you say about the jurisdiction? Can you say about dark web? Okay. So friends, let us first of all try to understand that what is the concept of a dark web. Okay. So what is dark web in general? Dark web is, accessing the internet by using a software, a special software, and the people who are uploading information on these dark web, they remain anonymous. So dark web is basically used to sell drugs or contraband, to upload pornography, to for terrorist activities. All these things are basically used on the dark web, and the dark web is used to commit all such crimes. So this is the basic use of dark web. And when you talk about jurisdiction of dark web, let me ask you that what is the jurisdiction or who is the owner of the internet? Can anybody in this particular webinar tell me who is the owner of the internet? There is no owner of the internet. Internet is a network of, it's a what happens is, small networks, small local area networks, VPNs are connected together to form a huge database or to connect itself as internet. There is no Tim Berners-Lee is not the owner of the internet. He introduced the concept of internet, but he was not the owner of internet. He was the inventor of the World Wide Web. So I think that I have answered most
Yeah,
of this
we
question
can
now.
conclude now, sir.
And yes. I'm sorry if I missed some
So,
of the questions, but I guess
yeah,
it's time
we
to conclude
get
now.
a great response in this session, and that's a great session, sir. I also need to implement some of your guidance in my life also. I am making some of the mistakes, like using the personal ID in all the wallets, and there's so many like of that. And I hope that our participants get the good knowledge from this session. Also, I would like to thank Tech the whole team for giving us their book for the webinar, and thank you for your session, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot once again to all the participants of this webinar, to Legal Thirst who gave me an opportunity, and I hope that I'm able to take you through the various nuances or the various facets of cyber frauds, and I hope that I've given you certain tips to save yourself from the dark clutches of the internet. And I hope to come up with various interesting webinars with Legal Thirst and spread this awareness and knowledge in a fourfold manner. So thank you everyone for spending your valuable time on a Sunday, and I hope that you remain cyber secure and cyber safe. Thank you very much, and everyone have
Thank
a
you
nice
all,
day.
and
And
the
take care.
certificates and all will be shared within 2 weeks. And thank you again, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Take care. Be safe. Bye bye.